perform here upon this slackrope, I have learned that in your country you'll have certain performers who will perform upon something called a tightrope. Now, in case you don't realize this, I'm here to tell you tightrope is nothing. It's not a skill. I mean, it's tight, it's still, it's like walking on the ground, only skinnier. Anyone can walk on the tightrope unless they've had too much to drink. The slackrope, though, is slack. It moves, it bends, it sways, it moves. It's not like walking on any ground you've ever walked on, unless maybe if you've been on a ship at sea during a hurricane, or if you've ever been caught in a yak stampede, because the ground can shake quite a bit. But I hear that yak stampedes are very rare in your country, so probably you've never experienced anything like walking on a slackrope. So please observe carefully. Why does the wind always pick up right when I go to front? Now this rope, ladies and gentlemen, is not only how I make my living today. It is also how I made my escape from the dreadful Turks. You see, they had me imprisoned in tall tower. But from my room in the tall tower there was a rope. And that rope went down to a courtyard. And we used it for hanging laundry and traitors and things like that from. Someone finally cut that joke. But I looked down one night into the courtyard and I see that there are baskets and barrels of goods and silks and things that are going to be transported out of the castle the next day. And I think to myself, Sashenka, why are you here in this tower when you could simply walk out of it? So, this is what I did. I climb up on my rope, and very carefully, I began to walk across. But I noticed that there is dog in the courtyard. And if the dog wakes up, he's going to start barking, he's going to wake everyone up, they're going to recapture him. So I walk back to my room, and I jump off, take a breath, wait for the dog to go to sleep, and then I climb back up. And I begin very carefully, trying not to shake too much because my bells will shake and wake everyone up. And when I get to the center, I jump off, I climb into a basket. I don't have a basket, so you have to imagine. I fold myself up very, very tiny. I put my cloak over myself, and I was mistaken for a bundle of cloth. You know the Turks, they send cloth to other parts of the world. And I was shipped out of the castle the next day, and that, ladies and gentlemen, is how I escaped from the dreadful Turks. Ladies and gentlemen, did some of you fall asleep? Because you're quiet. I love you English audiences, you're so polite. You just sit there so still and quiet. You don't have to, it's okay. You can clap, this is what we do in my country. Woo! And we yell, and we cheer. Huzzah! This is what we're here on the stage. Thank you. So feel free if you're stunned and amazed to do something like that. Now, after my escape from the dreadful Turks, I did not come right here. I traveled around quite a bit in the land around the Mediterranean Sea. And I met this scholar from the land of Greece. Do you know this land of Greece? She knows about it. Long time ago, they had this great kingdom there, and it had all these different pagan gods and goddesses. Do you know about this? Well, this Grecian scholar, he taught me, and I learned to do impressions of them here upon the slack rope. Would you like to see my impressions, ladies and gentlemen, of ancient pagan Greek gods and goddesses? Alright. My first impression, well, it's for you, will be of Greek hero Hercules. Hercules was strongest man who ever lived. He was a very, very mighty warrior, okay?
Hercules?
Yeah. Alright. My next impression will be of Greek god Zeus. Zeus was king of all the gods. He was very, very, very mighty. Wait for the wind to calm down. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. impression will be of Greek god Atlas. Atlas was king of all, no, Atlas was not king of all the gods. Atlas had to carry the weight of the great world upon his shoulders. So he was very, 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 very strong. Okay? I stepped down from my slack rope. The reason for this is Atlas is no fool. Sashenka, I'm no fool. Both of us know this rope here will never support the weight of the great world. And barely supports the weight of the great Sashenka. So I stepped from the rope. That concludes my impressions of famous pagan Greek gods and goddesses. Alright, so I was traveling around and I met this musician from a land to the south. And he gifted me with this beautiful carved wooden flute. And then shortly afterwards he was killed by Spanish pirates before he could teach me how to play the beautiful carved wooden flute. And I know you have wonderful minstrels here in Staffordshire. I know, I've heard them. And I'm not going to claim I can play as they do. But they cannot play as I do because none of them can play while standing on one foot upon a slack rope. Would you like to hear that, ladies and gentlemen? Yeah. Or at least would you like to see that? This concludes the slack walking slack.